This is your host, Dub FFG, with the Fantasy Football GOAT Strategies. How's it going today? Today, we're going to talk about the Fantasy Football running backs top 5 for this season of 2022. Let's get it. First up, Dalvin Cook. Now, Dalvin is the workhorse, or will be the workhorse for the Minnesota Vikings. He's going to have 12 touchdowns total and 1,100 rushing yards. Now, the only issue with Dalvin is time to time he has durability issues, but we think he's going to solve that this time. So Dalvin Cook will be number 5 in the top 5 fantasy running backs for this year. Next up is King Henry. That's Derrick Henry. He is the lone titan. He has no superstar wide receiver on his team, and you can say he has no superstar quarterback as well. So defenses are going to stack the box against him, meaning 8 in the box. However, that can be a great thing for an elite running back. Why? Because once an elite running back breaks that line of scrimmage in an 8-man box, there's nobody really to stop him. The free safety is probably about 10 to 12 yards back. And with the head of steam with someone like King Henry, one person's not going to bring him down. So in 2022, we're looking at 14 touchdowns and 1,200 rushing yards. King Henry will be number 4 in this year's fantasy football running back. Next, we have Jonathan Taylor. Now, a lot of people have Jonathan Taylor as number 1, and understandably so. He had just over 1,800 yards rushing last year and 20 touchdowns. That's awesome, but it's hard to duplicate. Anyone historically that has close to 2,000 yards rushing normally doesn't come back and repeat that. So his number's gonna drop just a little bit. He's a multi-purpose back. So in 2021, again, he had 20 touchdowns with 51 targets. But in 2022, we're looking at 15 touchdowns and 45 targets with just over 1,300 yards rushing. So Jonathan Taylor will be that dude with the Colts offense. Next is that Steeler, Najee Harris. He's the workhorse. He will be the workhorse for the Steelers offense. The Steelers offense will go as far as Najee Harris goes. In 2021, he had 94 targets, and that's with Big Ben there as his quarterback. However, Ben is no longer there. So in 2022, he's going to have 15 touchdowns with 85 targets, 1,200 yards rushing, and 500 yards receiving. Najee Harris is that dude. And the Steelers are going to go as far as Najee goes. So they may be looking at a record around 9-8 or 10-8 at best. They're going to make a push for the playoffs, but Najee's going to be a key factor to that. Next, at number 1, we have Austin Ekeler. Now, Austin Ekeler finished number 2 last year. Austin Ekeler, like Jonathan Taylor, also had 20 touchdowns last year. But the difference is Austin Ekeler's had a steady flow of fantasy productivity, even when Melvin Gordon was there as the starter. In 2021, Austin had 94 targets. In 2022, we expect him to have 20 touchdowns, 1,000 rushing yards, and 600 receiving yards. Again, his numbers tend to stay steady and flowing and consistent, even when he wasn't the starter. So the Chargers are only going to go as far as Austin Ekeler takes them, because they're going to make a push for the playoffs this year, and he's going to be a key factor as well. These are the top 5 fantasy running backs for 2022. We're looking at Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Najee Harris, and Austin Ekeler. Thanks for listening. This is your host, Dub FFG. Hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. Thank you. Hey, it's football season, and watch your favorite team with Sling TV. No contracts, all streaming. Watch your favorite program starting as low as $35 per month. Yeah, that's right, $35 per month. Click the link in the description and get started enjoying your favorite programs and watching your favorite team with Sling TV.